Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Right away, I want to thank Derek for donating gifting memberships, and Boothy Builds for becoming a member, and Bearded Bucket for gifting memberships. How is everyone doing this fine Sunday? Or if it's Monday yet, anywhere. Hey, Little Brat, hey, Northern Customs. Hey, Phil, PF, and Gideon. I saw Bill Brothers and Rod, and who else do we have? What, Tom, Latian, Mitchell, Nathan. How is everybody? We got a full house. So let's see. I got a few things going on the side, so I'm a little more distracted. I'm more distracted than usual. Maurice, thanks for the gifted memberships. And Scott, thanks for the gifted memberships. All of them coming in. So I'm slightly distracted. Let me read something here. Collie, thank you. Long time, great vids. 19 months. Thank you very much. Okay. So something's going on the side. We are going to start the Fabreeko Honey Badger Rook Mark 1 kit build today. This build is a very long time coming. Hector contacted me last spring, I think it was, talking about doing this build. And there are a lot of options when you go to build one of these as far as different things out there. And what I finally decided to do is build the Fabreeko GitHub files as they are, with the idea if we feel like we need to make any changes in the middle, then we will. So this will be this build series. It will be going by the instructions provided by Fabreeko, and we're gonna have fun with it. The reason I was distracted is Hector was messaging me. There is a discount code that he's providing for these kits. He doesn't have them in stock now, but he's opening up some pre-orders for the next batch of them. There is I'll put it in the description here in a minute, but the discount code is Steve Build with a capital S and a capital B without any spaces. And that will get you a 2020 frame kit when you put both a Rook Mark 1 and the 2020 frame kit in your cart. Apply that code and it'll make the 2020 frame kit free. So that was I hit my bandwidth limit of distractions at the beginning of a stream. So, hey Shammy, I will check that in just a moment. Let me see through here. If I didn't I think I thanked all the members, all the gifted memberships and the new member. Hey Daniel. Taking so long was a rookie mistake. Ha 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 ha. Hey Delvin. Hey Poity. Okay, so let me edit the description real quick so I can cover this and I don't need to. Okay, so I think that's correct. If anybody, Hector, if you're around, refresh the stream and check the description and let me know if I need to make any corrections there. But thanks, Hector. Appreciate that. Thank you, Fabreeko. Let me check your DM, Shammy. That's exactly what Shammy was bringing up. Okay, awesome. This is, since it's here, why don't I bring this up? This is, and I was incorrect on the case, it looks like, but this is what it'll look like. You have to add both to your cart and then apply the discount code, and it will make the Rook 2020 frame add-on free. So awesome. I don't think anything was in, yeah, that's a good screenshot to share. And where am I at? Hey, Danny. Hey, the GPs. Some nice music today. The same music I play every day. It's terrible. I'm buffering. What? You can disregard my DM. It was on the same thing. Wasn't sure if Hector got the info since it was last minute. My request. Awesome. So that is what it is. So let's go back and let's just go here. I saw some comments on the couple of comments. Yes, that's a Phoenix behind me. I haven't made any progress. Rolohaun, thank you. Welcome. And this is the Charlie's Angels content right now, building a 3D Sets Takura 240. So any new members, anybody who just got a gifted membership, you have access to this now. I streamed it yesterday and it was a really fun part of the build. We're going to continue this middle of February. So everybody who just got a gifted membership and everybody's a member will have access to that. So very fun build, very cool. I'm super pleased with it. Okay. Oh, I'm buffering, yes. You're right, Apollo. I hit my buffer limit. It's Fair Lady, yep. Okay, so Rolohaun, thank you for being here. So this is their project. It is a mostly printed 3D printer in a small build volume. So let's talk about it a little bit more and go where you can get information. So in the description, I have a couple of GitHub links. One is to the original Rook MK1 files, and then the other one is to the Fabreeko modified files. And I have printed. It is not a very large, everything fits here. It's not a very large print list, although there are some large files in it. I was very pleased that I didn't have a whole lot of files to make up printing yesterday to make sure I was ready. Start printing parts for the road. Going to be my first build. Awesome. So given that here is the Rook MK1 GitHub. Now, I'm pretty sure the expectation is go to printables to get your files. Would be the preference. This is where they are going to be most up to date. Is that correct? Rolohaun's in chat here. This is the printer as designed, and there are some pretty minor but specific to the parts kit changes for the Fabreeko version. So it's a very basic setup, but from all accounts, it's a fun build, and folks have been having good success with it. So we're gonna have fun with it here. It's not 100% printed. There are, I believe 8 or 10 millimeter, 8 it looks like, rods as the corner structure. There are some linear bearings that ride on those rods for the Z-axis, and then a Core XY motion system sitting on top. So now this is the newest of the original, and you could use these, but you'd want to pay attention to some of the specifics that come in the Fabreeko kit if you decide to do this. If you don't want to pay attention to those, then there is a GitHub for the Rook kit. Now, both of these descriptions are in links are in the description. So, hey, Fixer Jake, hey, Rexo. Excited about this build. Are you planning on giving away the Rook when you are finished? And I am. So the idea right now is to build this and at some point give it away. It may not be on the last stream. Depends on how the build goes. There's a couple of things about this build that I'm a little concerned about being able to ship it. So I think the files as they are in the Fabreeko repo don't properly support the power supply. I think it hangs off. Now, I could be wrong. We'll find out as we go through the build. But I'm going to reserve the right to make modifications as I feel might need to happen in order to make it the best success of shipping. So I might not need to make any mods. We'll find out. Does this kit come with a heated bed? It does. So we're going to go through the contents of this package and kind of sort things out and go through the build. So this is basically what it looks like, this rendering here. There are accredited to the original source here and the suggestion to use the Voron Design startup procedures when it is built. Hey, Art Chapman. Hey, Art. Ak was. Both are really neat. Rolohaun did an amazing job. It's such a nice, neat entry-level printer, and pretty really reasonably priced as far as the BOM total. Hey, DJ. There are instructions here, which is what I'm going to follow, and I have imported the CAD, so we can cross-reference that if we need to. There are a ton of heat set inserts to apply, and I have not done any of those, so you get to suffer through watching me put in inserts. But I do have a nice new iron to use for that, and I hope I can get it figured out. Hey Sven, what's the best path to enclosing a rook? I don't know. Hopefully someone in chat has some suggestions. So this is that. Okay, so let's go through what comes in the Honey Badger Rook kit, and hopefully Shammy or someone can tell me if there's been any changes since I got this kit, because like I said, it's been a significant amount of time since this was sent to me. The intent was to do this build this last fall, but I wasn't ready. So now Hector is awesome, and the intent when it was sent to me is that I didn't know when I was going to be able to work on it. So we're good. Hey, Makermine. Now it's nice to see everyone. Love my Rook 2020. Got all my parts from Fabreeko, Shammy, and the gang. It's an amazing little printer. Awesome. Okay, so we are going to start. Now, we did a basic unboxing of this. I don't remember what stream it was. It was probably one of the Charlie's Angels streams. I'm not sure. So, PF Dennis, thanks for gifted memberships. Work on our inserts for the Galileo 2. The Rook is really for PLA. If you want something that size for ABS, look out for my... That is a good point, Rolohaun. Thank you for reminding me of that. This printer as designed is meant to be printed in what, PLA or PETG. Probably PLA would be better. I printed all these parts in ABS and ASA. I may run into problems with that. I may crash and burn on this build series, but we'll find out. So we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to the printed parts and start actually doing stuff. We'll do some checking on fit. We'll see if we can get past any potential issues and go from there. Hey, Aaron. How long do you need to adjust the monovision contacts? I got them 2 weeks ago and I don't really like it. I no longer have monovision contacts. I do have I don't remember what the term is, but I'm not using those anymore. There is a slight tweak to my contacts. My right eye is slightly stronger for a little better close-up vision, but otherwise they're still the multifocal. And I am way behind. I've been unboxing and build for this kit on my channel as well. One with ASA and Day Glow Green and Gray. Did you have any issues with assembling it with ASA? I'm just curious. And Rolohaun said I should be okay. Your rods might be a little tight. And I have an 8mm reamer if I really need to. Nero did the same without issues. Okay. That's good to hear. Our devotion to ABS and ASA means we're going to be using reamers for this build. That's fine. Rook is the perfect first printer for kids. Small, smart. Awesome. Hey, Missile from Ireland. Hey, McFartright. And who do I have? Pezliz, welcome. You like and enter for your chance at Filament. Sorry, Pezliz, I meant to tune in to your stream yesterday, but I was busy hopping around trying to get ready. So, if anybody doesn't know, Pezliz, Zombie Hedgehog, KB3D, stream on Twitch, most of them several days a week. Hey, Dom. Okay, so we're just going to go in the order they come out of here. We have an SKR Mini E3 V3 as the controller. And hey, I got another duck to add to the giant pile. There we go. And this is the power supply included. It is the Mornsun. What is that? A 200 watt. Wow. So Mornsun, small form factor power supply. This is the same power supply manufacturer that LDO has been including in their kits. It is a good manufacturer. You can get them on DigiKey, that kind of place. Also glued the warped edge down after testing. So I'll talk about what I printed it in and the luck I had with it. Likely stream tonight too. Gotta get back into it. Awesome. Where can I support you for the car you showed before? Where can I support me for this? So if you're interested in that car, 3dsets.com is where I got it. There are no referrals or affiliate links or anything like that, and that's okay. It's really a fun build. Hey, Jose. How's your day or night been? It's been good. I've been busy, but good. Trying to get caught up. That's the whole point. We have a unlabeled box of fans and hardware and pulleys and bearings, and that one we're going to need probably pretty quickly. This kit does have the Voron Zero build plate from LDO, along with a lot of other stuff in here apparently. So more wiring, extruder stepper. Oh, nice little Rolohaun 3D marking on it. Is this, how many tooth is this? Is this a 9 tooth or an 8 tooth? It's 8. It's 8. Came to smash the like button, still super busy trying to fix this K1 Max. Oh, have fun. Aren't Honey Badger rebranded fans GDS time fans? I have no idea. I don't think they're just rebadged. I'm pretty sure they're not just rebadged. If they're manufactured by them, I don't know. Or manufactured by the same company that does them, I don't know. It is an 8 tooth. Yeah, I was actually able to see that and count it. Here would be an unlabeled box of fans. You try the multifocal contacts, monovisions are not for me. Yeah. It wasn't. These are much better. The problem I had with multifocals at first is they were too strong. They had to dial the prescription back, and then they suddenly worked really well. Something I was going to say. Anyway, let's keep going through here. So we have a Hotend and feet, just miscellaneous hardware in here, but it does have the LDO PCB or the Kapton heater bed plate. So that'll be nice. Hey, Ella. They're custom made, but they're made by somebody. And, right? Okay, then we have power inlet and it looks to be pre-wired. Unfortunately, it's red and black wires. I don't like that red wire in there, but it is what it is. Hello, thanks for being a member. Here, I can do the same. There we go. That's not US or EU coding. Yeah. That needs to go be changed, but that is, we can deal with that. 2 months. So I made myself a member of my own channel, trying to troubleshoot why I couldn't get the chat overlay to work during a member stream. I don't think that me becoming a member is actually what fixed it. I had tried something else for another thing I was troubleshooting, and I found some instructions on how to actually log in the browser window in OBS. And I think me logging into that browser window is what made this actually work. I just haven't canceled my own membership. There's probably not much reason in me giving YouTube a few cents a month for nothing. But it hasn't been important. I should cancel it just to see if the members thing stops working, but I don't think it will. I think it's because I actually logged into the browser in OBS, the browser window. Hey, Rob. Hey, Apollo, thanks for being a member. I joined for the nerf, but stayed for the printers. Awesome. Rushmere, thanks for being a member. Okay. And then we have some PTFE tube. Is this Capricorn or is it something else? The linear rods. Are you his nephew? Thanks for being a member. Uncle was right. It's a great community. Yeah, very much so. I don't know if the West 3D Rook kit is as good as the Fabreeko kit. I'm not going to comment on that because I don't know. And I have no experience, so I don't know that it's really a great idea to comment on comparing them in this chat. I would go and look at what's included and make your own decisions. Fans are not rebranded, they are custom made. And I didn't mean that way, Shammy. There is a factory that makes them. I'm just curious if they're made in the same factory. Now, when they said if they're rebranded GDS time, I said no, I would not expect so. But they might be made in the same factory. I think that's reasonable to think. Linear rails. Hey, Happy. Just wanted to say thank you for the high quality kits, parts, and even higher quality support you all offer. And that's to Shammy. That's good. I was just behind on the stream. Oh, okay, good. I want to make sure I was understood. Enjoy watching your builds myself. I built a Trunksy 330 by 330 Trident inspired with Manta M8P clipper and love it. Awesome. What's in here? Rook fixed screw kits. Oh, okay. Awesome. So that is the content. So we're just going to get this over here. Does the power supply need to be switched to 110 volt? That is a great question. Let's find out. There is a high likelihood that we did this when I kind of walked through these contents months ago, but it is set to the correct one right now. Okay, I made the color decision on this printer based on a poll that I did many months ago. And the suggestion that I liked the best was kind of going along with the chest theme. So I have black and natural ABS. Hopefully start pushing calibration prints today after my, awesome. So that the idea of I used the same natural ABS in the switch wire build, I did that because it worked out perfect as the tribute theme. But this had already been decided, so I kept with it. So you're seeing the same KVP Natural ABS in 2 build series in a row now. The black parts here are 3DO Carbon Fiber ASA. And all of these black parts were printed on my VZ-Bot. And the interesting thing is, if anybody is following ModBot Daniel and our VZ-Bot builds and his comments on artifacts in prints, I am getting those artifacts on some prints. These didn't show it. It's a mystery. We're trying to figure it out, working on it as we can. But these turned out really absolutely really good. These are printed with the default Orca profile still, with the profile that was there. This is Carbon Fiber ASA, so there is no or negligible warping on them. This part barely fit on the build plate because of this size, because I have a 235. It is very good. Those are the Ben Hex Trident colors. Bartos, thanks for being a member. I'm printing my VLMP parts tonight. We'll be using one to put heat sets in this. Hopefully start pushing. Gotta get some of that natural ABS. It looks good. Yeah. Almost carbon fiber ABS like. Yeah. This won't be an enclosed printer. It will not. So one of the besides just liking to print ABS and ASA more, one of the benefits to printing this and here is because I will eventually this is going to get shipped. So I didn't want a temperature intolerant material to impact its ability to make it to its new owner. You don't like the red for mains voltage. What color do you normally use? So I would be happy with either the US standards or the EU standards, which are the black, white, blue, brown, or whatever you want to call the colors. Just that red is in there gets very confusing with all of the red wires for your DC voltage. Who else do we have? Okay, so these, I got the bed plate. Like I said, these have been printed for quite a while. I printed these probably August, September range when I was trying to get ready for the build. So all of those turned out well. And I think as far as I was trying to line them up, everything looked like it was going to line up well here. On the VZ-Bot, do you have all the stepper driver gear secured to the flat? I do. So projects, I'm pretty certain the all-wheel drive setup is proper. I suspect there are other issues that are causing that, but okay. Then a bunch of various parts in the natural and some of the skirt pieces. These are pieces that I printed just yesterday. Didn't take very long. The mini Sherpa pieces. Yeah. So. Hey, Sanity. Welcome. Do the wires, everything is white. Really want to build a straight Rook to have next to the 2020 to show the difference. Okay, I think this and this is where we're starting. Now I do have, and this might impact us, but there are some rough top edges here. I think I was over extruding on this, so I want to clean those up. Just make this nice and flat. This is going to have probably rails bolting on here. I want that to be a nice flat surface. So let me grab a file and we will get that going. And I'm going to grab a bigger file because my little file isn't going to work as well for these big pieces, and it is going to be a messy file, so don't judge, but I'm just gonna going across a corner here so I can ensure that I'm staying flat. I didn't think this part was worth reprinting because of that. And that is all it took to take those peaks down. So with this, I am gonna grab a liquid method of cleaning this up because this is, and I'm just gonna soak everything and just get this up into, capture it in this IPA cloth because it is potentially carbon fiber powder down here. So I'm going to get all this cleaned up so I don't wipe it off and kick it up into the air is the idea. I'll clean my file a little better later. I use the Rolohaun macros for the Rook. Only thing I did was add a G28Z to all the torture macros and make sure it homes the after the test. Does not slam down when motors disable. Need a sandpaper on the flat surface for that. This is fine. I was not removing anything other than the peaks of the filament there. Let me rinse off my hands in the sink here. I'm not actually changing the shape of the part. I was just getting the peaks of the over extrusion there. I really like the LDO 0.2 homing macro now, works very well. The is looking for a paper towel. Just want to dry things a little more now. Grill fits perfectly. Awesome. Okay, we have parts that are going to just kind of gather around here. I am going to look for heat sets. Yep, there they are. There are 44, theoretically 44 heat sets in here. Is that enough for the build? Let's find out. It's your first real F360 project? Awesome. Cover the IPA bottle, yeah. Okay. I fixed my VLMP heatset press. So that's what we're going to use today. It was not working because the iron I had bought off Amazon failed the second time I used it. So I went out and bought a pine saw, and I have the CNC kitchen insert for that. And then I modeled a mount for it. And this is the second that I modeled for it. This was the first, and it just went around the grip spot. And that rubber grip meant that it wiggled way too much. Like now, this is solid. I didn't like it, so I went a little overkill and modeled a mount with some clamping screws, but still gives me full access to the screen. So, and then there's a little spot up here so I can unplug it, and that doesn't quite fit. I need to adjust it, but I can put the USB-C cable out of the way. So that's my, seems to work. I was gonna put this on printables at some point. I think I sent this to Ella to test, and I sent it to someone else that asked for it. Anybody who asked for it, I can send it to them. I'd like to know if it works across more than just my pine sol. Also got the pine sol, thanks for the mount. Awesome. Yeah, it's a little much for the mount, but I really don't like the end, the iron to wiggle. And that's why I even originally put the clamping screws on here. Just the friction fit. If it's on a solid plastic iron, like the one that Adam's been selling with the kits, which happens to also be the same model that failed on me, but I got a lemon, or I don't know. But I really wanted it to not wiggle. So I'm still using the same $2 AliExpress heat set soldering iron from 3 years ago. Nice. Can you send it to me? I can. And so here's what I'll do. So I don't get bombarded with DMs on this. I will, it's not on this computer, so I will post it into the files channel on my Discord, and the Discord link is in the description. If you don't want to use Discord, shoot me an email. The problem with Discord DMs is that it only shows so many, and if I get a whole bunch of them, then it scrolls off conversations that I might want to look for, and if it's from someone that I don't remember exactly who they were, it gets a little more difficult to find them. Anyway, we have a bunch of heat sets to put in, and that's going by these instructions I think I showed you earlier. So we're gonna put all of these in, and a couple of these, and all of these in. And I would be really surprised if that's not more than 44 heat sets. So run an iron and eyeball it. If I did more heat set inserts, it would be handy for sure. Did I already happen to put that on my Discord? I'm gonna take a little aside. No, I didn't. Okay, so I'll put it on later. Do you have a good advice on how to remove failing magnetic sticker from a 350 V2 bed? Sometimes you can freeze it, sometimes you can heat it. Once you get the magnet itself off, IPA works pretty well to clean the rubbing alcohol. IPA, isopropyl alcohol, works pretty well to clean the adhesive. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So. Okay, I am not super familiar with the pine sol. So how do let's go there, and let's see what temperature it's gonna get up to. I only wanted it about 200 C. And it's at 180 already. Oh, I already set it to 200 C last time when I was playing with it, so it is good. Let's go in here and let's do something like this. And let's see if we can actually get to all of them with this. Been a few updates. I was just told since you got this, so if you run into anything that you need along in the build, just let me know. Okay. I think Nero 3D had a video on removing the magnet. Very messy. Yes. Okay, I'm going to do this, and then I want to have this, and I want some sort of, I want to have something to push the heat set in. I think I'm just going to use my ruler here. So I'm not just leaning over and hurting my back. I am going to roll my chair over here. Okay, let's get comfortable. and get into this. Oh. Grab a few. And I'm realizing how much better this would have been had I done this before stream. So. And of course, I'm putting a bunch of heat sets in, not knowing for 100% certain I'm going to be able to use these parts, but I think we'll be fine. What do we got? Oops, I accidentally hit the button. Put this right there so it's easier to grab. And then we'll get into a rhythm here. Same as every stream, we are doing a Polymaker filament giveaway. I do that at the 3-hour mark. You must be here to win. We also really try to hit 300 likes by that 3-hour mark. So we are on a very long success streak of that, with several hitting over 400. And I think a 500 or 600 in there too. So. Let's see what we have. Built 2 or 3 of these now, so he has a great resource for this. Awesome. I haven't used it yet, but I need to weigh the base. So in other words, it's messed up. You can blame Delmar. Okay. Hi, Delmar. I don't think I said that earlier. Those inserts are quite silvery looking. It's probably the camera. They're all very much brass. I like, especially for something like this, I really like this heat set press. I haven't used the other one, the Stealth Press. It looks perfectly fine. This is just the one that got to me first. I think I got this before the Stealth Press was around too. But the question on whether it's worth it or not for small quantities, I think when you're doing even one project doing this, just the idea that I can just let it go and it works, it goes away from the workpiece and I can already be grabbing the next heat set. It's worth it to me for that. When I was using my standalone iron there, I'd have to put the iron back in its holder and grab it each time. I think this is pretty useful for not a whole lot of investment. Why do I keep right clicking? The pop-up menu, I keep accidentally right clicking and the pop-up menu gets in the way of chat. Hey, Maker Viking. I'm just using this flat piece of metal here to make sure that the heat set is nice and flush. It's really critical on these. You don't want any plastic bulging out, and it's not at all, but you don't want the heat set to be proud of the surface. Ideally, you want it exactly flush with the surface so that when you tighten down, you're not pulling on the heat set as much. If it's under flush and you tighten it down, you're pulling on that heat set because it wants to, you're going to be pulling it towards that rail that's bolted here. So on any of these heat sets, in any application, I think in a pull situation, you definitely want it to be as close to flush as possible. Yeah, just the fear of letting go of the iron and accidentally burn something. Yeah. Hey, Dom. Heat sets one over here. I think the last two, I think there's a couple, there's one more in here, which we're not going to be able to get with this iron. We will have to insert that, if that is a heat set, I think it is, with another, let me make sure that this is the right spot. This. That is not, so this is this piece. Oh, well, that's fun. Let me just zoom in here. That surface is not the same surface unless it's just the rendering. Maybe it's just the rendering. This looks flush, but it might just be the rendering. On this piece, it's decidedly not flush. It's for the linear rails, yep. Hey, Pex Peppers, welcome. Derek, thank you. Steve, sorry for the sidetrack. I got a serial request audited. How do I get the Rolohaun design to check it out again? What's the right place to ping? Either comment on your post on Reddit, or you can open an admin ticket and ask and mention what's going on, and it'll get taken care of. Delmar says it's the rendering. Okay. And then it looks like I don't put an insert here, but they go into these two. I'm not going to be able to get to those either with the press, but is that a heat set there? Or is that just a highlighted hole? Are these heat sets right here? These I imagine go right here. Oh, that's that one. Okay. That comes down into there, I'm guessing. Did you catch my score earlier on Twitter? I don't know. I don't know. Let's go here. Let's put these two in. Yes, that's also two on the side. The frame is upside down. It's not, because these holes are on this side. Not in the rear sides. Not in the rear sides. Someone said you have it upside down. I don't. Do not, and I'll show you why. These holes aren't set for heat sets. These are stepped for heat sets. So, I like the idea of using the metal ruler to level the heat sets. Okay, so let me make sure I'm clear here. These holes get a heat set, Delmar? Because that's a very, very awkward location to put them. Do the rails mount on the... Feels like it would be better to be mounted from the other side. So it looks like heat set here. That's not sized for a heat set there. That is a hole that's sized for a heat set. That's not sized for a heat set, but that is. So holds the rear motor mounts. Okay. At the very least, I would highly recommend make a clearance area around that so that it's flat. Whoever designed this particular part, or if it's an original, I would definitely make that flat. We're trying to put a heat set in on a fillet surface. I'm going to send her a Christmas card. Okay, so I'm going to pull out the other iron and take this tip off and grab my insert for this one. And let's get this to an appropriate temperature. Let's see what we can do about getting these in. So we're gonna put a heat set in there, and I'm probably gonna, let's see if I have a screw that I can put in from this side, just to kind of make sure, because we don't have a reference surface to press against here. So I'm gonna try to get this in there and just make sure it screws in. On the front side heat sets, use the tall heat sets that are in the kit. Where is that something that's missing from my admittedly older kit, or could they be in another box? Nope, there are tall heat sets in the kit. So this would not give any indication of different heat sets. So you can use an M3 bolt on the other side to help guide it in. Stock Rook Mark1 uses M3 nuts there. Okay. There are some tall. We've got 25, it looks like, taller heat sets. Hey, John. On the front side heat sets, use the tall heat sets that are in the kit. Okay. We've got these. So let's do, I've got some ideas. So let me get some clarification, either Delmar or Rolohaun. So for this hole and these holes, do I use the tall or just for these? Front outside one. So these here, you're talking about, or these? Here is what I would consider, I guess, front side or front. Just these front ones. And this is okay. I don't mind getting some clarifications here. Front outside ones. Here, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say this is location 1 on the sides on the front. This is location 2, and this is location 3. Which ones use the long heat sets? Location 1, 2, or 3? Any of those, or all of them, or one of them? Once again, this is location 1, this is location 2, this is location 3. Colin, we're on the same page here. I'm gonna wait for location 1 gets tall only. Okay, the rest of these are short. Location 2 and 3 are short. Okay, so let's do this. So there was a suggestion here that I think is good. We're gonna put this screw in here. We're gonna take a short one. And we're just going to thread it on just a couple of threads. Now, I am going to hold this and pull it back while I use my iron to heat up the heat set. And I don't actually have to put it in there. I'm just gonna heat it. And this is going to take longer to heat because I don't have as much surface area, but it is pulling in very slowly. And that was a great, I think Rolohaun, was that you that suggested this? That was a great idea. So right there, and then I can be assured that that's pulling in straight. And I'm using a stainless screw as well, which helps because it's not going to absorb heat and travel to my finger as quickly. So, hey Sean. Now we are good. So then I'm going to do it for the other side because that worked really well. So I'm only throwing this on here a couple of threads. So Self-Source uses M3 nuts, but Fabreeko uses heat sets. Both work well, but yeah, that's a tip I use. Awesome. I like it. I've not actually tried doing this before. This is the first time. First time trying this. First time, probably not the first time it would have been useful, but this is a new technique. I like it. So just kind of let that heat up. It's going to take longer, but we're pulling it in straight. Yeah. That's good. I'm actually going to pull that a little bit more. Might pull the other side in just a little bit. Just to make sure it's... Hey Kelvin, fancy pat heat press isn't how this is true. This is true. It's not the only solution. I'm just making sure it's flush to just barely under flush. This is a pull through heat set, so. And that, I mean, stainless steel screw, that's not even, I mean, it's warm, but it's not hot. Okay, so side ones get the long. This is location 1. Get the long heat set. We're going to spend all stream putting in heat sets. But we learned something. That was a new technique for me, so that's good. Now here's where the using a separate iron. Oh, that spot's not deep enough for a long heat set, Delmar. That spot is not, that spot in the model is not deep enough for a long heat set. I pushed that into plastic for the last bit. That is not deep enough. The hole here is, oh, the hole there is probably about a solid 2 millimeters shallower than it needs to be for these heat sets. Would it help to have the CAD open? Also, I just checked the rails are on the other side of the inserts. Oh, they are? Neat. That's good. Then that invalidates what I was saying. Let's see. Yeah. Are these other ones? These are all the same depth. Okay. Well, we'll do it anyway. I had mine stripped there from part choices. Make sure the front motor mounts sit flush on the side. Hey, Holy. I need to open the CAD. He has chat. Exactly. Now I hit the end of the part, and now I'm pushing it a little extra. There we go. I could place the VLMP standout box, but this is fine. These parts are in, well, that's fun. These parts are in, the black parts are Carbon Fiber ASA from 3DO. Oh, you can't see this. Let's come very close to hitting the linear rod there. There we go. Sorry, not motor mounts, idler tower mounts. 3DO ASA is so nice. Yeah, it printed really well. Like I said, I printed these on the VZBot. I think that's all the heat sets for this part. No, it's not. There's 2 heat sets here, huh? These are heat sets, I assume. They're the right size hole for it. And they are not a through hole. I'm going to, I think those are heat sets. For lights, not needed. But would, if I put lights in there, would it be a heat set? Okay. I'll leave them out then. Okay. Okay, we skipped ahead. We have these 2 other parts to put heat sets in. There are a ton on the big part, but we'll put these 2 in. Let's, since it was mentioned, let's go here and let me open up the cap. I'm pretty sure I have it already imported. It's a legacy from Speedy's mod. Okay. If you add lights, they would reduce why travel on the tool head already hits the front frame. Okay. Thanks, Turtle. There's so many heat sets in that parts you should have just CNC'd it out of press. It is a PLA machine. PLA, PETG. Hey, Kyle. Hey, Silvonek. Oh, what in the world? Okay, hold on. I've got to sign in to Fusion apparently. Stay signed in. And I've got to grab my 2-factor authentication. Network. And go to product. Manager. Okay. It should be getting there. The bolts go through from the non-heat set side. That's what I'm being told. That's a good thing. Heat sets are better in a pull through instead of a pull. They're better in compressing the part instead of tension. I need more screen real estate, trying to mod a part with Fusion while monitoring chat, watching Steve. Okay, let me go through here. I'm getting Fusion opened up, and I don't like to do it live just because it's probably not a good idea. The Natural is KVP Natural ABS. It's the same stuff I used on the switch wire. Close. Give me just half a moment more. Here we go. Andrew. Okay, so here is the CAD. And if we look in here, which is the top frame, isolate it. Let's get rid of that part. Oh. They're not modeled in. They're colored, but I was looking to see if it was obvious which heat set to use here as another way to look it up, but it doesn't appear so. Okay, these two. Check the coverage. There are two heat sets here. And are these shorts or longs? Oops. Pine Sol went to sleep. I'm probably going to need to make a trip to the other shop to grab my additional supply of heat sets, but we shall see. I've got a very low, just this little pile here left, besides the long ones. So any areas where I need to use long, call them out. The talls was from your experience. Oh, okay. I see, Delmar. Thank you. Hey, Ethan. The blue on the press, excuse me, is probably KVP Galaxy Blue ASA, but I don't remember. What in the world? Why is that? The pencil keeps going to sleep. I think it's Polymakers Galaxy Blue ASA. If it's not, then it could be Sparta's blue, but I don't think so. So that part is done. Now we got this monster, which is all of these. Yeah, this is I only just ordered this. So if we set this in the same orientation here, I think we just go all the way around and put them all over the place. Oop, not that, right there. So let's just work our way around. We'll go until we run out. Not know this till I spoke to Phil. The green color in the front is for zip ties if you want to use them. The green color. Oh, okay. I see. Need a heat set shotgun. What heat sets am I using? The ones that came in the Fabreeko kit. Are these Voron sized heat sets, Delmar? Okay, that's good, because that'll make it easy for me to grab some. I mean, I guess there's no reason why I couldn't throw some long ones if that was the only areas you suggested. What do we have? That is Fabreeko kit, makes the part work very well. So just as another reminder, in the description is a discount code to Fabreeko. If you add both the Mark 1, the Rook Mark 1, and the 2020 frame update kit into your cart and then apply that code, it'll make the frame kit free. Hector said he made a few available for pre-order for this stream. So if anybody was interested, you could get in line and get a free kit for when they come in. I do have heat sets somewhere. They're just in the other garage. If they stop wandering away. Heat set press is getting a workout. Yeah, I'm glad I fixed it with the pine sol here. I'm gonna check something here. Oh, that's perfect. I'm gonna use the long ones for the electronics mounting. There's no kill like overkill, right? But they'll go through because the holes are definitely deep enough. How many parts did you have to print? Fewer than I would have expected. There's not a whole lot of parts to this printer, which is good. That's a plus. I had these big parts printed a long time ago, and I went through just in the last few days making sure I had everything printed, and I was surprised that it did not take very long at all. Were these new or old parts? What do you mean? I'm using iron. It's normally all elbows and... The only item not in the kit that was added was a 3010 axial fan for MCU cooling. The two inner mounts are for that fan. Oh, okay. That's these guys here. And I'll probably find one just so we can put that in. I'm sure I have a 3010 that I can throw in there. Now, since I'm down to 5 of these heat sets, I'm gonna keep those around. I'm gonna use these long heat sets into the electronic spots. So we have these along here, and I'll probably put them in here just for when I do put a fan in there. So what's happening with the Positron LT? Has it been released yet? I'm not 100% sure. I suspect that they found something they want to fix. I do have the Positron LT kit here, and I will be expecting supplemental parts before that build starts. So I think in general that's good to fix it before it's out, but it does mean that build is delayed to an unspecified time. $200C seems to be a pretty decent temperature for these heat sets. They're not going in too fast. It's not taking too long. Just steady pressure is getting them in there. Also use your VHB tie mounts to clean the wiring on mine. Nice. You're not a fan of fix it and post then? It's kind of hard to fix a live stream in post. Let's see if I can get to this one. Nope. Oh, it's not going to work. Okay, whatever. Over 200 likes. Nice. And we are just over an hour in. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. It doesn't really matter which direction I pull this from. So I think I'm going to do it from this side. I'm going to do the same trick because I kind of like it. Do that, and then I'm going to heat this up mostly from there. So I'll get a little better job on this. But the screw is going to make sure that it goes in straight. Engineering chaos, we are building a Rook. It's your Magneto X heading towards you. My pre-order has not shipped yet, that I know of. And speaking up to the guys who made the positron at Smurf, I think they were overwhelmed by how much interest there was. Yeah, it was really, the main person there representing LDO at Smurf was Dave, and he is a super nice guy to work with. Oh, the Magneto X, yeah. Well, the same thing. That's Mark, and that's the owner of the company, and he's super nice to work with. I've talked to him there and at IRF, and okay. Is that all of them for this? Let's double check. I don't see anything. Yes, this is what you would call a gateway printer. 1 hour of heat set inserts. Yep. Okay, so that is that one, and that one. And now we have toolhead parts. So it says finally toolhead parts. So I have 5 heat sets left, and I'm probably short only a couple. So where's the toolhead? Where did I put that? Here it is. Here's a toolhead, and there is a piece here. Okay, so there's this piece and this piece. Looks like there's 2 heat sets in the toolhead. But we're almost done with heat sets. These are the last parts, so thank you for bearing with me. Oops. That really goes there. These are not properly sized for heat sets. Just feedback. What in the world? Do those are those intended to sit proud? Because that's fully bottomed out and the other side is pretty close. Are those intended to stick up? Oops. Told you it's okay. Blame Delmar because his math skills are bad. What are those parts printed in? These are KVP Natural ABS. So I don't know what, that heat set won't go in all the way. The hole's also too small diameter for properly for a heat set. Only there for wire management. Okay, I will put them in as far as it will go then and not force it. And we can always adjust later. But those are too small for, I think, for the proper, it's bulging the part quite a bit. I don't think it's bulging it to a point it's gonna be a problem, but Oops, shoot. Let's do this. Make sure they're parallel to each other at least. It's fine, those are only to mount ADXL 345 onto it. Okay. That one actually needs to go in a little more to match the other one. I still want it to match. There we go. And put this across both of them. You're good. I think it's a limitation of the rookery. Normally when I go to work on a Monday, I talk about this live stream. Going to be hard to explain watching heat set installation. How can we make heat set installation fun? Okay, so it looks like, according to this, I would interpret this as direction that these go in is probably important. So I'll follow that. And I need 5 heat sets, and I am short 1. And I actually might have 1 out here. Yes, I do. I have an extra heat set out here. I don't have to go to the other garage. And I want a there we go. 1, 2, 3 block that had stuck to the other one. So I'm going to use a 1, 2, 3 block to elevate this part so I can get the one heat set in on this side. So 1 heat set here. Zombie, thanks for being a member. We can use Brasso and polish the top surface of each heat set. No, that sounds like a terrible time. Oh, come on. You're right, the timeout time on this, let's go this way so I can actually hold it. The timeout time on the pine sol, I'm sure that can be customized, right? That goes there. These are awfully small diameter holes for these. It is taking, jeez. I actually shifted the pine sol up in the thing to when I was doing that. Let me fix that real quick. Shifted the pine sol up in this mount. I didn't tighten it a lot because I didn't know how much it could be tightened. Let's tighten it just a little more. There we go. What do we got? Hey, Squirrel Brain. You might need to reprint this mount. There are some variants out there for different fan ducts to nozzle heights. Can you, so I have the parts that are part of this kit. If it needs to be different from this one, I can reprint it for next stream. But send me a part if it needs to be different. What's the nominal hole size for M3 heat sets? There are different M3 heat sets. For the Voron spec ones, we recommend 4.7 millimeters. Now, Stefan at CNC Kitchen is recommending 4.5, I think it is, or 4.4. I wouldn't argue either way. I think these are smaller than that, though. Okay, so then 2 more into here on this side. File should work for the parts in the kit. Okay. I'm pushing too hard trying to get this in here. I should be a little more patient and just let it go in. Because I shifted the iron again in there. I'll be a little more patient. Sleep settings, sleep timeout, yeah. I just haven't gone through and learned the menu system. Just be a little more patient. It's having to push a little more plastic out of the way. I'll try to locate my zombied one I modded. Gives about 1mm fan duct to nozzle offset. Do you have a 4.5mm drill bit? At least 4mm deep, 5mm deep being recommended. Yeah. Okay, so that is in, and then I only have the 2 on the top. And I'm going to be extra careful on these because that looks a little fragile. There we go. Turn that up on end. That'll give me a little extra support. I'm going to hold it this way so I can use my wrong hand to put these in. I'm not pushing too hard on this. I just wanted that to go in. I'll do the opposite here. Hey, Joe. There's one. And did one roll away or did I miscount? One. Are there metric equivalents? I was looking for that. I think there are, but I didn't see a lot of sources for them. Okay, we are done with heat sets. If you tuned out, you can come back now. I remember the talk about wrapping your head around light color and needed parts, but you chose white. Well, there was a suggestion to do like chest colors, and I went with it. I think mine are metric. I couldn't bring myself to buying barbarian blocks. Okay, let's put this aside. Turn that off. Stick that, wedge that there. Turn my other iron off. And heat sets are theoretically done. So we put heat sets here, 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 and here. And I think we were only shy 2. If we hadn't used the long ones and we were shy 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 more. 10 more heat sets. So it needs 20 more heat sets. And then you'd be good. Okay, so let's go here. So that is the end of the heat sets. Let's zoom this back out. Next up is attaching the feet to the legs. An M5 nut is captured in the leg and 4 M5x16 socket heads attach the feet. Okay. Let's get the legs. And let's bring out did print a hex tray for this build. So let's get some things organized here. Apparently we're done with heat sets, so I'm not going to use a spot in the hex tray. And then we've got various fasteners here and here. Oh, never mind. Never mind. I'm gonna eat a little crow here. Here's more heat sets and more heat sets. Why are they packaged in different? And 3x4x5 and 3x4x5. Is that what all of these have been? And 3x6x5. Where's the other baggie for heat sets? Did I get rid of them? There are more heat sets. There are more heat sets. Why are they packaged in all different baggies? And this is apparently a supplemental box of extras. Oh, there's a heat set that went rolling away. These are all the same size at least, so. Okay, that's my bad. Okay, so let's just get all the fasteners out here. There's some M5 nuts. Hector's 10% add-on. At least one bag is for snacks. I'm not Taylor. I don't eat heat sets for my extra lead and brass content. Let's put these in here. Let's put these in here, and it was a little tight, so let's get out the well, I mean, if you start on grub screws, you're going to graduate to heat sets at some point. So, I mean, I think that's still a valid thing. Sorted for each system. It could be. I'll fess up. That's absolutely my fault for not opening up all the fasteners. That was. You see all the goofs live. That's the point of this, right? So nice. So first step in the build, open and consolidate all the bits. Yes. Yes. I saw feet somewhere. I think they were in here. Grub screws are the gateway screws. Brass tastes much better than steel. Okay, and then an M5 by 16. So these are the M5 by 16. I think these can get a spot. Not anymore, Nathan. These are the bigger. Do I have a driver for that? Where is my driver for that? Where is the driver for these size screws? I'll just grab the one from the Shapeoko. So, what do we got? My build of this was a little weird because they changed their BOM while packaging it. That is an area where the print is a little tight, and that's very. There we go. Thought they were nerds, which is the funniest part. Yeah. Okay, so one down, few to go. Epic Pliers made it super easy to install the 42 10mm magnets in the fat rig. Why doesn't Steve use those electric screwdrivers? Because if I did, then it wouldn't give you an opportunity to ask why I don't use the electric screwdrivers. Well, I guess if I did, you'd ask why I didn't use the manual drivers. Arizona drone dude. Okay, so feet are on. Hoards tools and saves them for a rainy day. This is true. Why the LTT screwdriver hasn't made an appearance. It's too bulky for this stuff. It's just, I mean, it's a fine driver. I use it in other areas, but. Attach the 4 feet to the lower frame as shown using 8 M3x10 socket head. Okay, let's find the M3x10 socket heads. 3x6 and 3x10. And 3x10s, and we've got the frame. This guy's going to go back here. About a third to keep in my backpack. I don't use electric screwdrivers. My doctor told me I need to exercise my fingers. That's a good reason. I like it. And the problem is, so this little spot right here, if I grab the Hodo or the ES15 or whatever, I'm not going to be able to get to that one anyway. I can get to it with a manual screwdriver. I can get to, if I can't get to it with a manual screwdriver, then I got to figure out something else anyway. Hey, Iconic Fab. It's going to start looking good at this point. I pull out the electric driver when needing to screw things more than 10 turns. That's a good point. For like the wheels on the Death Racer, those long M3s that hold the tracks, the track things together, that was a great use of a good electric screwdriver. Talking about arms, you see that red spot there? I have no idea where it came from, and it's mildly tender. And there's no like obvious bug bite. I just noticed that a day ago or so. If you haven't yet, you should print out some of those dummy 13 action figures. I printed some for my wife and great time putting them together. They're really cool. I'll have to look at that. Is that the little posable guys? I think I've seen pictures of that. Are there extra long bits for screwdriver? Maybe. Maybe, but don't go bringing your reasons into your counterpoints to my opinions. That's not a bruise. It's really weird. I didn't see any. Oh, you know what? There is going to be a difference here. Let's see. There's going to be textured side versus printed side. I'm going to put textured side front. They're already that way. Something similar on my arm, my 135-pound dog decider stuff with a whip. It's not a sunburn. It's I noticed it after doing all the shoveling for all the gravel for the shed. I haven't been using the laser. Not at all. I did break out. My wife pulled her Cricut, whatever, out of the back of the closet. It's an original Explorer. Maybe not original, but it's a very early version. It's not the current one. And it did do a pretty good job of cutting the windows for the 3D sets model. So I ordered some bits for it to freshen it up, a new deep cut blade and stuff. So I'm gonna try again. It didn't make it all the way through, but it scored it enough to where I could break the windows out. Awesome. Just blink twice into the camera. Need a bigger printer. What do you think is better, a V2.4 or a Trident? Well, my biased opinion is a Trident. If you want to go like 350, I'd probably go 2.4 for a 350. 300, I'd do Trident. And myself, I'd buy a 250 Trident. Rub super lube on it. I hear that helps. It shares the same size bed and hole pattern as a V0. Yep, iconic. Okay, so that's done. Stand up the printer and insert the 4 8mm rods into place. So here's where we find out, really, if the ABS is gonna need to be dealt with. Hotend mount I think I used. I'm sure not the Hotend with the nozzle to it. Okay. My wife's had that Cricut, whatever, for years. And I've always known it was there and thought I could come up with some reason to use it. This was finally that reason, and I'm glad to have it available at this point. Hey, Michael. Hey, Leon. Are the rods heat set too? They might be. Let's find out. Let's see how this is gonna go. Oh, that's actually a little loose fit. I'm not sure that that's great either. I was expecting that to be a tight fit. That is a little bit loose. That's probably not a great thing, huh? What do we think? Rolohaun, Delmar, what do you think on that? Is that a deal breaker? You happen to check out my M4 mods. I did see them. I didn't comment though. Yeah, that's not good. Okay. I kind of figured. Reprint. So it's kind of weird. That's not what you would expect from ABS. Yeah. Let's see what the top, yeah, that's a good point. What's the top like? Does this go? This goes on here like this. Those go in, but they're a nice firm fit. Yeah, that's not good. Firm fit is good, loose is bad. Yeah, I can. Why is that so loose? It's the same printer, same filament. That is a 8.2 millimeter hole. That's an 8.2. It's an 8.2 millimeter hole. Just double check, 8.2. Make sure I grab the right. 8.2. They're both 8.2. We should have shrunk. Yeah. Isn't that upside down? Shouldn't the heat sets be facing up? No. The heat sets are down. See, this little feature here puts the heat sets down. Should have shrunk with ABS. Very thin. Someone check for things on McMaster to insert into the holds. With a sleeve? I don't think so. Print the tolerance print on the printables page before I reprint. I'm just really puzzled by why this is same printer. Oops. Same printer. So the possible explanations are, as you notice, I had to sand down the top surface here. I was over extruding on this part. I did not sand this one down, and it is not. So I obviously changed settings between them. Probably dialing in. This, I think, was the first one. Might have been the first one I printed. Trying to dial in that setting. So if I turn my extrusion multiplier down, that would change the way these behave. I don't think these are going to be tapered this much. This is a significant amount. The same issue, calibrated flow using test piece and bottom was okay, but top was way too small and required sending. So I've got the same problem, just to different degrees. Where the top is just right, I'd be comfortable with that. The bottom is way too loose. And that just pulls right off of there. Now, this relies on this being a friction fit to stay together. Is that correct? Heat shrink tubing isn't a bad idea. Yeah, it needs to be tight. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna keep going. I think. I'm hoping. I can redo stuff in between streams. Okay. I mean, if these are that much different across that length and diameter, then there's something wrong. Now, these aren't the most precise tool for measuring this. My micrometer is in the other garage. And we got 7.96 and 7.96 on both sides. I do not think anything that I try to shim it with is actually going to be effective. If it's going to, if I could, anything that I would try to make work for that is going to, if I try to press it in, it's going to get bunched up. And this really relies on these parts bottoming out in the same spot, I think. So I could measure these holes. It's not going to be, I could measure these and give you a number, but that doesn't mean that I've done a great job of making sure I'm measuring it at a good spot. And it doesn't really, doesn't matter. What would matter more is look at the actual STLs I printed from. The finished frame at this rate will be done today. You got to listen a little more, Engineering Chaos, because we're at a problem with the printed parts, and it's weird because it's in the wrong direction from what we would have expected, right? This is not okay to send it for to be fine to use as a printer. What I'm debating is how far we can go with the build today, just going through the build process, and then I reprint this part and just kind of stealthily swap it out between streams. So, and I don't really want to glue them. I know that would work, but I think the proper thing is to go and do. I have more of this 3DO filament. The cat is just over 8 while the rods are 7.9. I use aluminum cut from soda cans as precise shim material fairly often. Might get us further in the build. Worth checking the files you actually printed with. They're on the other computer is the problem. But if we look at, I know I downloaded these. If we go to the GitHub here and look at the STLs, I've downloaded them within, I've downloaded them within 7 months ago. You can build the gantry now. Yeah, since the top is working, thank you for that, Rolohaun. I will go ahead and go to the next parts, because we should be able to just drop this onto a reprinted base. And are you nephew, that's probably a good idea for when I'm testing this, to chop it up and print a corner of it. Nathan says the STL is also 8.2 millimeters. Yeah. So the suggestion that I check other parts, I should try to put the bearings in here, I think. I think that's a good idea. Let me get back in here. What is the next step after we do this? Let's look over some of these. So we put the feet on, we put the, gotta wait for the images to load. Print the tolerance tool for Rook before you do a new bottom frame. Stand the printer up and insert the 4.8mm rods into place. This is your first square and level check. On a known flat surface, make sure the feet don't wobble. Flip it to stand upside down and check for wobbles. This makes sure all the rods are inserted evenly. Grab the lower panel and the inserts. This should be a nice fit that can be tapped into place. Oh, so that goes over that. Great designs. I'm really wanting to make one small Rook or a Rook alike myself. Awesome. Maybe something like 0.25mm would maybe the difference between interference fit and not. Oh yeah, this is tiny differences. But I am on the wrong side of it. So we will continue to what we can. I think we can still, we've got at least another hour here, and we've got another hour worth of stuff we can make progress on. So like I said at the beginning, there's likely going to be something that we run into that isn't right. And that was it. Okay, so at this point we can insert these bearings in. So this is a good call to see if these fit in the bed piece here. Between 100% and 104, it chose to stay at 100% for a tighter fit. Maybe the plate will be enough to hold the rods. I don't think there's any physical mounting for the plate to this piece. I think it just sets on the bottom. I don't see any holes that it would mount into. So these guys, That is a major loose fit. Wow. That's not going to work. Darn it. Okay, so there's two pieces I need to fix. Don't. How many rookie mistakes have you made with the printed parts? Good thing you're giving it away. I'm going to give away a well-built printer that will be after I fix my mistakes. I have a different version of that with screws around the bearings. The concern I have with anything that's going to clamp this is this design relies on this alignment. The top plate through the rods to the bottom plate, and then the spacing on the bed. If you have a loose fit and you're gonna clamp on there, you could change the spacing there and it's not going to run as smooth. So, I don't understand the source of your mistake. Did you have hole compensation set to too high? Does Orca Slicer have a default? Well, I guess I should look at the profile I used for the VZBot to see if there is some default hole compensation in there. That's a good thing for me to go and check. That's a good thing to go and check. Orca default is 0, but I downloaded a profile for the VZBot. I don't know what's all in there. I'm not super familiar with Orca Slicer before using it for the VZBot and stuff. And the VZBot profiles do have hole compensation as default. Good. So for this material, this is Carbon Fiber ASA. For this material, it sounds like it might be my extrusion multiplier settings. It sounds like I might have to intentionally over extrude to get these to fit, or go into CAD and tweak those diameters. And carbon fiber in the plastic does. That's why I wanted to build the frame out of carbon fiber, some sort of filled material, is to minimize the chances it was going to warp. As you saw earlier, I've got very flat parts, but yeah, that is an advantage of the carbon fiber filled material, and that's why I used it. Okay. Let's go and work on this top part, since this is going to have to be fixed. And we're going to attach the Y rails. These are Honey Badger, right? Yep. So would these, Delmar, do you know if these would have been pre-lubed? Do you know if these would have been pre-lubed? I'm gonna open this up and see if it's, I didn't immediately see the little telltale grease stuck in the mounting hole. So John says Stefan would tell you to use Vector 3D's test print to calibrate with the actual filament. The problem with that, you can get an actual correct extrusion multiplier, or somewhat. When you're battling the combination between model compensation for things and printer compensation for things, you're not necessarily or it's not going to be productive as far as if you want to dial in and just consider your print is perfect, but these are modeled at oversized to take care of prints that aren't perfect, it's not doing you any good. What I would have to do is make sure my print is perfect and then go in and change the model to where these are closer to actual dimensions. They should be, but I redo mine. They're Prelude. Shammy does it personally while watching Family Feud. But Shammy wasn't around when this kit was sent to me. And this is one of the other axes. Uh-oh. Shammy and Delmar, I think I've got a problem. Does that go all the way to the ends? Oh, no, I don't have a problem. Okay. It goes all the way to the ends, huh? It's Delmar. We don't have TV here. I was looking, I guess. Okay. I was hoping, I thought I might have the wrong combination of rails, but I think we're okay. Never mind. Never mind. What kind of nozzle did you use for printing that ASA carbon fiber? I used that, Delmar and Shammy will be able to tell, but I got a, the little PTFE, not PTFE, but whatever, anti-stick nozzle from Fabreeko. I got that at Murph, and that's what I'm using. It's a 0.6 millimeter nozzle, and it is hardened. I just checked the default profile for VZBot and Orca Slicer, and XY hole compensation is set to 0.075 millimeters. Huh. I'm going to go check mine to see. The stream is going off the rails. The rods bottom out to the rails. Okay, that makes sense. I was looking at these mounting holes and saw a short rail here that looks like it's pretty dead on for those, and that had me thinking, uh-oh. But no, that goes there, and this is for X. Plastiglide, yes. I'm using a 0.6 Plastiglide to print it. Good, whatever this is, everyone. We're gonna go with it. We are going to just keep going. So we are going to install these with 16 M3 by 20s. 3 by 25 and 3 by 20s. So far, let me be clear here. So far, and correct me if I'm wrong, everything has been here. I was not short on heat set inserts. I have the correct rails. So far, everything I think has been my reaction to stuff rather than actual problems. Now, the prints are obviously a problem, my problem. These are in, and how do we, is there an alignment tool that I was supposed to print for these? It's a lot of heat sets to recover from those places. Yeah, it's fine. Redoing it. Turn it around. So the Honey Badger logo is going to be to the outside. You can use the X bar for alignment. Oh, okay. I think I know what you mean. much a CNC Rook frame would cost? A lot? How much is the kit? $2.99, I think, is what it is. I think it was $2.99. Yeah, $2.99. And if you add the Rook kit and the 2020 frame upgrade to your cart, and then put Steve Builds as the coupon, the frame is free. Putting screws in here. I should have checked the prints here, so I want to apologize for not doing that. I really thought, my thought was that if anything, stuff was going to be undersized and I was going to ream it. I was really not expecting that to be oversized. So, what if you put Steve Fails to Build as the coupon code? Okay, and then you said you used this guy to align it. Put that on there and then kind of tighten one down, move it to the other side, tighten it down. Don't apologize, your errors are educational. I get that, but I still think that it'll be a lesson learned to not assume some stuff, some of this kind of thing. So, don't you have an unreamer? So the problem is that I don't want to misrepresent, especially Rolohaun's project here. And I want to make sure everybody understands that the problems I've run into so far have definitely been with me. There are probably some things about the build that I would probably do different, but I haven't run into anything yet that wasn't caused by me that would stop us from doing the build. And that's kind of the point I want to make. Okay, so if we get those on and then place the top frame on top of the 8mm rods, make sure it bottoms out on the rods. What I really want to do is get down here and see what screws are used for this. And how does this mount? How does this go? Attach the rail to the x-axis using 8 and M3 nut on the back of each. Don't let the shuttle fall off the ends. Okay. M3x12 button heads with a washer and an M3 nut on the back. I would add the rail. Yep, that's where I was going with that, Delmar. Yep. Getting the bar, the rail on here, and then using it to align these. You just turn the reamer anti-clockwise for that. Anti-clockwise. Counterclockwise? Let me catch up. That's the answer. Use your reamer, but turn it counterclockwise. There we go. Good lesson is to dry fit everything before official assembly. There is a certain point where I can do that. There's also a certain point where I just don't have time to test every build before I do it. There is an aspect of this that it is a live stream. We are actively entering issues. We don't often enter into this many issues, especially that are caused by me. I try to have some level. I'm not sure, aside from checking those fits, which I really thought would have been the opposite way, and we could have corrected that live. I can't correct this live. So, you don't have your board extender handy, I think it has a hole shrinker. So which direction does this go? It looks like that is up with the holes here. So even though this is still kind of a test fit, we're gonna make sure the honey badger is up. Now, what is the, oh, that is the same width as the printed part. So is that adequate for alignment? Fix it in post. Pex Peppers, I saw your announcement, your email on that, and that looks, yes, that looks pretty tasty. The salsa verde, yeah. It's un-American to blame yourself these days. You need to blame someone else. You can always remove material. Putting it back is a bit more difficult. Yep. So. Okay. So we are going to do that, and it's M3 by 12 button heads is what it says. 3 by 16 and 3 by 12. Did we actually mean socket heads? We've got 5 socket heads here. Use the 8 button heads. Oh, there's more. We've got M3 by 12 9 pieces and M3 by 12 5 pieces. It's called additive manufacturing. Hey, Bob. What filament did I go with? The black is 3DO Carbon Fiber ASA. Oh, and then another one with 3 pieces. Here. Between 5 and 8, 5 and 3, we have 8. That's going to be a comment. I wouldn't say a criticism, but same size fasteners are spread out is interesting. Okay, so those go in there. And we need some washers. We have nuts. Where are the washers? M3 washers. Are there M3 washers in the kit? Now you have a chance to use the colorful 3DO ASA carbon fiber. Oh, I still have plenty of this carbon fiber. I can redo the parts in all the same color. Oh, there's the washers. Okay. Maybe they have them separated between build sections. But it doesn't add up because there's 3 and 5 and then 9. But you need 8 for this. So that doesn't quite add up. I use the sockets, I think, but I chose that. Well, there are no button heads in here. There's no M3 by 12 button heads, so I am going to assume socket head. See you, Nathan. Okay, so that's going to sit there. That's going to go on there. That's going to go there. 9 equals 8 plus 1 for the floor. That is true. This printed part is exactly the width of the rail. So that's just what I'm going to align it to. I think I might set this here, and as I tighten it, can I do that? Yep, that'll work there. So I'm going to use my 1, 2, 3 block as a reference here. Push both of these down, and that should make it straight. Is that the Charlie wire natural filament? It is. It's the same stuff. Same roll. It's supposed to be a beginner type thing, so look for the compact screw, then look again. Look one last time to find them all split up. What isn't working? My prints. Here. That's not supposed to come off there that easy. And here you go, zombie. That don't work. So I need to look. It sounds like Orca Slicer might have, my profile in Orca Slicer might have had some hole compensation by default. I need to confirm. So we will continue making progress. Are you still here, Rolohaun? Or have I run you off? My... The problem, zombie, is in the opposite direction of what you would expect if it was a filament shrinkage issue. Although if you think about it, for a hole, is it actually opposite? But this worked fine. It fits in the top. It doesn't fit in the bottom or this. Do the nuts not recess in the printed part? They do not. They are there. So I'm gonna go do that. Then I'm gonna grab my little this guy. I'm assuming you didn't test the holes first. No, of course not. Why would I test it? Why would I test it? You know, like I was mentioning to others, the expectation I had is that things would be too tight and I could ream it out. And so yes, it's completely on me for not testing, but the Fabreeko files don't use the new clamp mounts, so the bolts, the holes need to be perfect. So I am using my 1, 2, 3 block here to make sure that this is aligned across that, and that should be good enough to have a straight piece so we can put it on here and align, make the rails parallel. Thanks for the stream today. See you, Derek. That's still shrinking the whole gap. Yeah, I was thinking about that, Mr. Jackson. So you test the holes right as I'm installing it. Mm-hmm. Okay, so these are going to be 3x6 and 3x6. I don't see Rolohaun in there anymore, so. Oh. Just fill the holes with some hot glue. So it looks like it uses 3 of the 4 holes here, and then there is a wrench access hole from the top, maybe. That goes right. There we go. There you are. Okay. I didn't know if I'd run you off with my issues here. I was curious. Okay, so that turns, and all we're hoping to get out of this is just make sure that I've got the Y rails aligned. So, and this will move smoothly. We are nearly at 300 likes. Awesome. I forgot to keep checking. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's actually showing me the full number now. Last stream, it usually shows me, like I say, it shows me the first digit, then ... because of the way I scale my screens for the stream. But it's actually showing me the right number. Where is these? Okay, so that goes there. It's kind of. I think Carbon Fiber ASA will be cool in the end. Yeah, we'll get past it. We'll figure out the correct print settings to get a good set of files, and I think it'll still be a smart choice, especially since this will end up with somebody. Just really wasn't expecting that, and I should have. There we go. So the front and back parts align the rails. Yeah. So I've got these stops here that I'm going to use to just kind of make sure that this is even, that it's not racked when I'm putting the front and back parts align the rails. What you said dope, but why? I think I'm on the right track here for just spacing these out. 305, 306 now. Awesome. So that is tightened down. Now I can move this back and forth. And if I just do that and just kind of barely tighten that one down there and that one down there, and then go to this side, tighten that one down there just barely, just enough to hold it in place. Oh, the motor mounts and idler towers. Yeah. These are in the same spots. So now I can do the center out. Now these are threading into plastic and everything, so we're getting snug, but not too many ugga-duggas. Just make sure I got them all. Move smooth. I don't have any issues with that. So there. Yeah, threads into it threads. It's not, I'm sorry, it's compressing against plastic. It is threading into heat sets. That was poor choice of words. Okay. I think that's valid. And what else can we do up here? So we got those installed. Place the motor mounts and front idlers on the top frame. So 2 M3x16 button heads, one each going to the idlers from the front. Okay, so let's do that first. Actually, let's go here. This might be the better angle for this. There we go. Pull these guys off. I would add a washer as a shim where you put the tall heat set between the idler tower and top frame. I would add a washer as a shim where you put the tall heat set, which was in the side, between the idler tower and top frame. Here and here. If I put this on here, it's right up against there. Are you saying in between? I don't detect a gap. I don't detect a gap. Is that what you're talking about, trying to put it in there? Not sure we'll be this year. I don't think we'll be at the same location. Are you talking about Open Sauce? It's at the Cow Palace, right, John? Yeah, it got announced. It got announced. So M3 by 16 going the idlers from the front. M3 by 16. That's these guys. But there are no button heads. None of these M3s are button heads, so yeah, I had a small gap on my parts. Okay. So an M3 by 16 there. And two M3 by 10 attached from the sides. Yeah, no detectable gap on this side. Yeah. In San Francisco, yes. Cow Palace is one of the locations I said they should have it. Good. I don't know for sure yet if Voron will be have an exhibit. There's a good chance, but it's not been decided. I am in the Sacramento area, Sacramento, California area, so the Bay Area is not too far of a drive for me. Okay, that seems sturdy. That works. McDonald, thanks for the gifted memberships. Goes there. And then on the back here, motor mounts go on. This off. Wrong answer. You will have an exhibit. Well, you gotta apply for it for this event. These are by 10s. And this one threads into plastic. Both of these thread into plastic. Is this correct? Oh, no, that one goes through. So what size? Oh, that must be a 16, huh? Yeah, looks like a 16. Got it. That's the other heat set that's on the other side. Never mind. Halfway between Reno and the Bay. Yeah, pretty much. This kit is super tempting, but I don't have money after Doggo's surgery bills. Oh no. Hopefully Doggo's okay. The bolt thread into plastic, be careful. Yeah. So I am going to, because this is in a spot where there's lots of potential for splitting the part, I'm going to kind of do the whole thread it in a little bit at a time, hopefully basically cutting some threads. There we go. Basically no ugga-duggas there. Very, very little. Oh, well, not even bottomed out. So few ugga-duggas, I thought it was tight. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's not bottomed out on the spot, and it's stripped. So it's not bottomed out and it's stripped. So that outer screw is not going to work. See how the parts align the rails? Yeah, but I didn't want to rely on the parts aligning the rails. It's still a good idea, I think, to do this. I think it's a good idea if I was doing this again. I think I would have put these on to get them close and then do this to get them, to make sure they're parallel. Actually, a place where there isn't a heat set, because it's so close to the side of the part, I think is the thing. That one went in and seemed to tighten okay. Very hard to get a heat set there. Yeah, it's so close. Because you're running into, you have the rod going through here, and would it have worked to just extend this piece forward and put a heat set over here? Just get it away, just extend this a little bit. Is there something over here that gets in the way? Just make this go over here and put a heat set like here. I don't know what if there's anything that gets in the way over here, but it sounds like that might have been okay. Okay, so 2 M3x18, one each, attach the mount from the rear. Oh, M3x16 went through. Do I have M3x18s? Yep, I do. I replace those. These were M3x18. These were M3x18. Hey, go for it, painting. See that? That wasn't even tight. Maybe it's not actually. Let me just try threading this in a little more. That's totally just spinning. Random question, which camera lens are you currently using for your top down? It's a great wide looking angle. That is my Sony ZV-10 or ZV-1. That's the Sony ZV-1. So it's the integrated lens on it. And welcome, Brian. Yeah. And then the reason I really like this is I can just reach up here and hit the zoom and get the different angles. Turtle. Yeah, I remember. Break off a toothpick or a piece of filament in that stripped hole. It sounds like I'm doing some reprinting anyway. So I might tweak this part to put a heat set out here and try to keep the aesthetic in this direction, and otherwise just call it on that one. So I'll reprint these. I'm reprinting stuff for this. Reprinting this top isn't that much more of a stretch. That's pretty nice. I ended up mounting another M200 to my ceiling. So I'm gonna change. I don't know if I've mentioned, some of you heard yesterday, but I came up with an idea for changing my setup in here that I think is gonna make it a lot nicer. I'm streaming at this nice big table. As you see here, I have a big table here, but if you look behind here, this is a workbench it's 6 feet at least of a workbench I don't have access to anymore, because the computer's sitting there, and my setup here, I have monitors, 3 monitors here, and the overhead camera. Oh yeah, there you can see the end of it. I'm gonna move to the wall where my drill press is, and that will free up all of this space. It's gonna be nice. So anyway, sorry. Let's go back into this. Will there be more clamps involved in the new setup? All the clamps. We require all the clamps for it to be properly fixtured. Where can we do next? Attach the X-axis to the wire rails. Attach using 3 M3x6 socket head on each side. 6 total. Okay, so there was one more that could have gone on the outside here. Okay. Giving the clamps. So making this temporary studio that much more permanent. Nothing more permanent than a temporary solution that works, right? It's been a long time since I built this kit. And then we get to attach the AB motors with 4 and 3x10 socket heads, adjust all the way towards the front of the printer. What I'm going to continue. So a big reason why I'm continuing with this build, even though there are areas that I need to correct. The biggest ones being my print settings for these parts. I want to just kind of see if there's anything else that I can kind of get ahead of for the next stream. So if I can put the motors on here and get things in place, that'll give me just that much more of an idea of what else I might have screwed up on, or feel like in this case, I feel like this could use a little different solution. So I think it's worth it from the point of view of having a longevity and durable printer to move that heat set. But anything else, I just want to see if there's anything else that can be identified. Front idler towers thread into plastic. Check those next. Front idler towers. Where are those? Oh, these into here? Okay. Make sure you have the correct extruder printed. I have all the Fabreeko stuff printed, so I'm hoping. So this is, so A and B steppers. Are all of these the same? So these are all Rolohaun 3D branded steppers with a connector. Do we know, are these 1.8 degree? Are they 0.9s? Am I reading that they're probably 1 amp? Is that correct? Jonathan, thank you. I appreciate you enjoying this slightly different stream. Mine are into plastic and work fine. Okay. They're all 1.8. Okay. So these are going to go in here, and they're going to get, these are going to get M3x10s. Are there other areas where I'm going to want to use these washers? Are there other areas where I'm going to want to use these washers? Because I would probably prefer to put a washer underneath these for mounting. I think 1.5 amp, 0.85 and clipper. There you are. I would put the washers there. Yep. I am going to. Oh, you guys can hear that? That's my neighbor's dog. If you're on my Discord, links in the description, I posted a picture of him. I've been taking care of him. So he is a good boy. I'm hoping to get some time to take him for a walk after stream. But he does get he gets a little lonely over there, so I'm just putting these in place. We're not actually doing anything. He's a pretty beefy dog. He's got some mass to him. But he's a sweetheart. He loves to play tug of war and fetch, and he absolutely loves to yank my arm off while giving him a walk, taking him for a walk. And he spends about the first 10 minutes of every walk peeing on everything that is appropriate for a dog to pee on. He's a mix. Looks like some pit in him, but not a lot. There's the big head, but there's definitely other stuff in him. Which for dog means anything. Yes, exactly. Just all the way towards the front of the printer. Wires go towards the center. Oh, wires go towards the center. I put the wires to the back. These are switching anyway, but bring him over and have him hang out with your build. He's not, this would be a new spot for him. That would be a terrible idea, I think. Anyway, when I reinstall these, I'll put the wire towards the middle. All this talk of walkies, my doggo is getting so excited. Okay. And I'm not aligning these. We're just getting things in place. And according to the documentation, which way is up or down. Wires go toward attached DT2 pulleys. Pay attention, orientation, and height. We will fine tune the height later. So they go somewhere around there. Then we get to build some bearing stacks. So these are using the same concept as the Voron bearing stacks. A pair of bearings surrounded by washers, and when you have two of those, you end up with two washers in the middle. Posted the motor info in stream chat. Let's see. Stream chat. Rook motors. Looks like they are 1.8 degree. They are 1 amp. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Pippo. My dog is a husky, brown lab, Shar-Pei, stubborn as hell. Now you reprint and reassemble, doesn't need to be off stream. It's good to show you're not infallible. It's just time. It's just time. So we'll go over everything that I do between streams, but a lot of this is gonna get, I need to reprint like the base and reattach the corners and that kind of stuff. Okay, so regular bearing stack. We have shims here and we have bearings over here. Not enough heat sets, motors not the right way around. Talking about dogs, would real Steve Build stand up, please? I do feel a little bad about today. I do. This is not, I knew I was coming into this not as prepared as sometimes, but I wasn't expecting this. Oh, using M5 by 25. So we got those. Where's the front idlers? Okay, so those are going on the front. Install 4 single bearing stacks in the x-axis using M5 by 25s. That's here. And then M5 by 30 for the front idlers. Okay, let's start with those. M5 by 30. And then we get the shims. Okay, so washer, 2 bearings, 2 shims, 2 bearings, and a shim. That still gives a good amount of threads into here. Let's go this way. Part of this is making sure that this threads in straight as much as possible. So I'm not using the ball end of this yet. Oh, that's one. Now these are, I theoretically don't need to touch that. Even when I do the rebuild, that'll stay. There shouldn't be anything to change on that. So on the SB2240, do you just leave the ADXL configured? No separate MCU like the RPi? Correct. Correct. So we're talking about, I mean, the stream and how it's a little different. This is actually a little closer to what I would have expected starting streaming, just to hang out and do. And it kind of, as much as I try to move things around, it still comes to getting a little more of a tutorial feel, which isn't really the intent. It's more hang out and build with some learning in both directions. The stream is fine so long as I win the giveaway. Have you won one of mine yet, John? There we go. Okay. So that's there. The only reason I wouldn't want to put these bearing stacks in here where it's not really benefiting, because I have to pull it apart. So, hey Philip. Okay, what else are we looking at? A single stack for the Z belt using an M3x20 socket head. And where is that? Is that in the top here? How does that work? Where is that? Let's see. Ah, that's right there. And is there a, what is this hole for? What is that hole for? Is that intended to be for a heat set? What are we saying? Iconic fab. Hole length for AB motor mounts, I assume for bolt adjustment, seems fairly short. Does not create issues with belt tension adjustment as front idlers are fixed. Rolohaun is saying that there is enough adjustment here, and I would probably agree. When you attach your belts to some reasonable amount of tension when you're attaching them, you need only like a couple of millimeters of tension room on your in your adjustment. I would agree that this is probably I would say this is sufficient. You probably want me to make something awesome. I had to recrimp the thermistor wires. Okay, so do we know if this was supposed to be a heat set back here, or what size screw is that? Idler bearing stacks might be only one washer in the middle. I don't know if Fabreeko's is different. Oops, it's that. Let's look at the CAD. The instructions say 2. There are 2 there. I don't know about the spacing on this stuff. Stock Rook files is just M5 thread into plastic. Okay. Steve's rain is in my backyard today. It washed away the snow. Those are two. The question is, everything has to line up here and then at the carriage here. If all of that is spaced for 2 washers, then we're golden. But actually, I wanted to be back here. I wanted to go to here. So we are going to do a single stack for the Z belt using an M5 by 20. So 1 millimeter removement is 2 millimeters of tightening. Just 1 washer in the bearing stack. It's not like boron. So that is contrary to what the instructions say, Zombie. So the instructions are very clear that it is 2 washers in between the bearing stacks. So that's okay. So by 20, M5 by 20. Is that one of these? No, these are 16s. M5 by 20, 5 by 25, 5 by 30. I am not even gonna question whether it should be here yet, because I've done that too often and been wrong. But I don't actually see an M5 by 20. Should this be a 25? Fabreeko STL might be different, yeah. Copyright boron. Maybe they modified all the spacing. Mm-hmm. Let's see, it's gonna go. Almost giveaway time. It is 6 more minutes till giving away Polymaker filament, and we are at 333 likes. We're at 460 people here. I don't think we can hit 67 likes in 6 minutes, can we? Can we hit 400 today? I just used the 25 millimeter there because I couldn't find a 20. I couldn't find a 20. I'm not going to say it's not here, but I couldn't find one. I only need 47 more now. 47 more in 5 minutes. Fabreeko seems to spec precision shims instead of the washers, at least for the 2.4 I just joined, but perhaps this is the same situation. In general, the shims that we're using, when we're buying shims, we're buying 1 millimeter shims for M5s for bearing spacing. Most of your M5 washers are also 1 millimeter or very much close enough to be okay. Okay, I'm not going to install belts today. So that is going to be something that we will check those belt alignments, those belts alignment when we actually put them in. And that'll tell us whether everything's going to line up okay. And we should be able to see that. I should be able to see that by eye if it feels like something's off. So, but looking at, we've got a belt clamp. Route the other end through the top belt. So this is all X carriage stuff, which we're gonna skip. We only need 28 more to hit 400 in 4 minutes. So we're over halfway from where we started. We can do it. Next, mount the rookery hot end. Okay, how much of this can I do right now as checking fit? So if that can go on there, let's look at the rookery hot end and its mount. So this is the mount, and it's going to go on top of the carriage, which is this. There's a nice, I kind of like that. That's cool. There's a little indexing feature here. I've got a little stray piece of plastic, but a little that actually printed pretty well, considering this was like that. That's on the steep side of an overhang, but it printed pretty well. This is going to go on there, and that kind of locks in, which is, I like that. That's cool. That goes on there. So the rookery hot end is right here. Where are we at? 380. 20 more in 2 minutes. We got to do 20 more in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Okay, so this is the hot end. Oh, good. I don't have to carry all the wires around. Put those over there. So this guy goes here, and it looks like the wires go this way. Oh, that's neat. Check it out. 12 more. 12 more in just under 2 minutes. 10 per minute. Let's go. That is going to bolt right there, it seems, right? Those same 20 will also choose to register for the draw during the countdown. So the filament, that's a good reminder. In the pinned post and in the description is linked to the giveaway. We have 9 more to go in 1 minute. Okay, so that goes there. M3 by 16s to secure it. I've lost track of my fasteners. That's an 18. That's an 18. M3 by 16s. M3 by 16. Here we are. Just a heads up that the heat break does thread into the heater cartridge. It's not all one piece. Heat break does thread into the heater cartridge. I don't know what that means. Heat break does thread into the heater cartridge. This is the whole little hot end. Hey, Pedro. The natural color is an ivory of sorts. Yep. It's kind of an off-white. 401. Good job. And then I would imagine that just goes right there. 402. And do we skip right over 403? So is the next one 405? Because 404 is not found? Come on, John, back me up here. This is the rookery hot end. See? Got a chest piece there. You're on your own with that one. See? Straight to 405. Okay, it is 1 o'clock. It is time for filament giveaway time. The way I do this, if you haven't been around, is I give everyone every chance in the world to get in on the drawing. It's a lot of fun. I count down from 3. If there's been a new entry in that 3-second countdown, then I start over. So one of these days, it will be a quick 3-second countdown. But at some point, you're going to stop believing me when I say that. And, oops, that's not what I want. Let's just go here. And it will be quick, but let's see. We have as many entries as likes, which is awesome. So we're going to start counting down from 3. And let's see, it's like the last 30 seconds of a playoff basketball game. Exactly. So we've had a few more. Everybody who's now playing the game and trying to get in at the last second just for fun, see who can get the last one, is doing this. So 3, 2, I'm really good at playing the long game. 1.5. We've got 1. Oh, there's 1. 3, 2. Oh, there's 1. 3. There's a couple. 3, 2, 3, 2, 1.5, 1, half, quarter. We gotta get one more. Are we not gonna get one more? 1/8? There we go. 3, 2, 1, done. It's exactly at 420 responses now. I had to wait. Okay, let's link this out. I got over here and open up the websites. Get rid of the last entries. Okay. Rod, you were the very first entry. Who got the last one in? Who was number 420? Scroll. Pavlo got the very last entry. Good job. Paste those in. I'm gonna go get a sandwich. That's gonna be the next thing. People wanting to be in the Polar Ted Club, which is the club you get inducted into if you are not here for the giveaway. Sandwich time is canceled. Okay, so this is the entries. We are going to shuffle this somewhere between, this is the 62nd time that I'm giving away Polymaker Filament. Actually 63rd because the big anniversary stream. But let's go between 1 and 62. That's a lot of numbers. Should be mandatory for club members to buy the shirt as penance. 1 and 62. Between 1 and 62. 2. 1, 2, go. Who do we got? Once the name is drawn, you have 2 minutes. 2 minutes to say something in chat. A game key. Are you here? Congratulations. You have 2 minutes to say something in chat. Tag me. Someone will see it. There you are. A game key. Good job. Your name does not quite match. I think it's going to be fine. Let me see. Oh, you were the 4th from the end one to enter the drawing. What was the, let me see if there's anything even close to that in the chat. There is not. That is the only thing with game in it. I'm going to call it good. If there was any question, then that's why I have you enter a random number. If there was a question, if there were a couple with game in the name, for instance, I'd probably ask you, what is the random number that you put on the form? So absent that, we are good. So congratulations. A game key. Congratulations. You will get an email from me. Last week's winner is still waiting for an email from me. I apologize. You'll both get an email from me very soon. So awesome. No new Polar Ted Club members. Andres, awesome. Congratulations, Andres. Like I said, you were the fourth from the end. Now it's sandwich time. Okay, where are we? What else can we do here? Yeah, we're going through this. I think this is a good thing to go through. We can spend a little more time going through the Hotend, checking things out, seeing what's coming up. So, can use a filament for my new switch wire that I will build. Awesome. So if you are in the US or Canada, then you'll get a coupon to the Polymaker stores in those regions. And that'll cover more than a roll of filament and free shipping. If you are outside the US and Canada, then you get a form where you can choose from a long list of filament to get a roll to be shipped to you. Can you show that Hotend up close? I'm interested to see it. Yeah, for sure. It looks like similar, like Creality-esque as far as the mounting and heatsink design, but with a ceramic heater here with little Germany. Yeah, so you'll get a link to a form to fill out to pick a thing. There's a little heat strain relief there. Looks like the thermistor goes in there and the heater wires. Is that a Triangle Labs Hotend? I don't know who makes it. You can build the Hotend assembly with fans? Maybe. That's why I've put this on here and we can see what we can do. This goes on to the carriage and then gets secured from the back, and this is good. This is a nice little detail. If this was on the printer and belts, there's a little slotted hole here that gives a little bit of room for how that fits together. You can see this tapered triangular piece goes into that tapered triangular hole. And then you probably push that down to make sure that that's kind of solid in there, and then tighten that down. Wonder if it can be switched to CR Revo without fuss. Maybe. You remove the link for giveaway. I do. Thank you. Let me unpin that post. Remove the link from my stream description because I always forget that too. That is saved. Okay, so that goes on there. Screw goes in from the back, and then we can place some fans in the shroud. Okay, we have fans. So we have some Fabreeko Honey Badger 4010 fans. Where are we at? So then these go in as there looks like a little bit of wire management grooves there. So this is going to go in there like that. Now the only thing, I think that'll go, what does this actually, can I do like that to get that through there? Let's find out. Yeah, there we go. I wanted to keep it in the little built-in strain relief for the fan, so let's show that again, because I think that's probably useful. I took the fan wire and took it down to this gap where the mounting screw, created by the mounting screw, and then folded it up so that it will slide along that channel. I think that's probably a good way to do that. Check Hotend fan ducts real quick. What am I checking? Sorry, I'm slinging paste and solder in the morning. If you need me, holler and I'll come running. Thanks. Thanks, Shammy. No worries. So that went right in the first time. There we are. There's a hole for the fan connector to go through. There's a hole for the fan connector. Oh, then what are those for? Then what are those for? Thank you. Is there? Here. Let's see if I should have just scrolled through and found. No, it doesn't say anything. Let's see. Then add the stress relief wire mount. You may notice there a wire management tab on the head end that is getting in the way of the rookery. You can and should rotate this to the front of the machine. Fan wire goes in the hole. It doesn't say there's a hole. Let's do it again. I thought that little channel there would have been clever for that. Here, we can do this too. I'll pry that up. Fan connector slides in the hole first. Yes. Okay, that goes in there. Then what's that cool little channel for? Don't really need the cool little channel if you do this. So the wire can go from the top down. What? It doesn't even go along that path. It's not on the side, it goes out the back. Spent this whole stream cleaning off brims from ABS prints for my Trident skirts and V0 parts. Awesome. See, there's nothing there. Cool. It might be from the original file and was modded for the HB 4010. Okay. Printing the VLMP tonight. Thanks for that. Awesome. Start by outflow goes down, inflow faces out. Mount the 3010 fan in place with 4 M3 by 16 button head screws, washers, and M3 nuts. Okay. So this guy is going to go in here. I assume something. Rear edge of the fan inlet looks a bit rough. Yeah, I mean it's a print. It's fine. I can probably clean that up. But that, I mean, that still, considering it printed like this, that's the overhangs. Going little angle and a flat would help a little bit, but it's not in the way. Yeah. So that goes in there. And we're saying, it's saying M3 by 16. There are no M3 button heads in the kit at all. M3 by 12, there's the M3 by 16s. Probably to give you wiring options. Yeah. There's no button heads at all, so unless they're in some other package. That's gonna go in there, and then we're gonna get all these in here, then we'll put some. Use a zip tie tail end to wedge the 4010 fans in to stop any wobble. Okay, that's, did you just wedge it in on the side here to push it? Whatever whatever side into there. Okay. That's that. And then we can slide in. I'll probably use some tweezers to assist with this. Some tweezers to assist with this. And there is just barely enough room to get a washer on that. And before I go too far, go ahead and put a, I think I can get my finger in here just like that. And then just, there's not going to be enough room to actually get my little tool around that. A little nut driver, but there's enough to push the nut on the end and then I'll work it from this side to get it tightened. Then I'll get some pliers in there and hold those in place. Also noticing that I've got a wire out of place in there. You see that red wire? It's out of place. I don't want to tighten it down right there. So let's push this up. See if I can figure out why. Might have to redo that. Who's using Galileo 2 extruder? Is it worth the upgrade over Clockwork 2? I am using Galileo 2 extruder on 2 printers and it's working very well. I'm not sure if I would replace a well-working Clockwork 2. So I don't know that I would replace it. It's a nice extruder. And it's probably worth doing if you just want to try a different setup or whatever. But I don't think you're going to see a huge difference over a well done Clockwork 2. The areas that I might think about for that, I'm going to bend that over so it goes through there, would be if you have a Clockwork 2 with maybe not the greatest concentricity of the Fontec style gears, then you will probably see a improvement with Galileo 2. But if everything is lining up well on Clockwork 2, it's probably not worth the upgrade. Not paying enough attention to where those wires were. So I'll have to redo this part. What are we? How are we? Oops, let me get over here. What is next after this? Are we getting close to as far as we can go? Maple Leaf Makers just did a video on their experience with the Galileo 2 in comparison to Clockwork 2. Could be worth a look. What was the overall impression there, Brian? Quality's not bad in clockwork too. I might just do it for the fun of it. That's a great reason. I do all kinds of stuff for the fun of it. I mean, a large portion of, especially folks that, you folks and me, a large portion of this hobby is just playing with the different options, right? It's about the build. So it doesn't have to make sense. Why did you start 3D printing and with what printer? Mine was an Ender 5. So I had just come off of a large assignment at work. So I work for the department here in California responsible for the design and construction and operation and maintenance of the dam up in Lake Oroville. And in 2017, the spillway for that dam failed. And I was up there for an extended period of time helping provide IT support. And coming off of that, I was looking for something to do. And I had been interested in 3D printing up through that point, but most of what I'd seen, at least the sources that I was looking at, didn't look like the quality was there. So anyway, it finally was, and the price was there. The price of hobbyist level printers were coming down significantly. So I was looking at the Monoprice Mini, and I ended up buying an original CR10. That's where it started. See you, Andres. Cheers for the advice on my fan mount. Looks like it'll be perfect. Awesome. What do you do when your mag sheet on your bed delams? I go through the arduous process of removing it and replacing it. It's not fun. Make sure your rookery key is correct. Test fit the hot end into the rookery duct. Okay. Oh, I get that. Okay, I see that. Let me get this on so at least we can see if these screws are going to interfere as well. Zaronic was always saying, damn IT support. A CR10, I have the pieces of it. It was a Hicktop. So Hicktop is just, I mean, it's the same thing. It's just the branded on Amazon. I had this Hicktop CR10, still had the Meltzy board with the single lead screw. I did a ton of modifications and had fun with that printer. I still have the very first print. It was a little cloverleaf shot glass out of the white PLA it came with. So at this point, we might not need a part 2. Oh no, we've got lots to do and we've got lots to fix. Okay, this is the part with the fans. And then it would go on to, if we had bolted all this stuff to the carriage, it would go there. But we can do some preliminary test fitting right now. Single lead screw on such a big printer. And for the most part, if things were adjusted and stuff, it worked okay. It wasn't working great for speed or anything, but the print quality coming out of it was good. Okay, so this is going to go in here, and when this is, when this is on the, should be here. When this is on the printer, this is going to be on the carriage. This is going to go here. This is the carriage. This is the stack up of parts. Why don't I bolt this there? What is that? This, yeah, that one. I'll bolt that in place. That'll help check everything out. I started with a CR10S. I changed that CR10, everything on it. I put a under printer compartment for the electronics and power supply because I didn't like the little side thing. So that goes there. Are we just going to be bending that? Does this just bend out of the way and then come up through here or something? Or up through the center? So do I want to do that now? Does this just bend the strain relief there? I'm asking because I want to assume that I do, but you only bend that like twice before it's gonna break. So I'm assuming I'll bend that straight up and then it'll go up through the middle here. And apparently there's some thing that goes there for, yeah, this goes here or something. And then wires can zip tie to that for the umbilical. You can rotate the heater. Ooh, I love that. Thank you. See, that's the kind of advice I was looking for. Like it. I should have thought of it myself. Set screw. That would have been dumb to just bend that. Well, let's look at this while we have it. Does this just... Okay, I know where it went. Oh, that's a itty bitty heat break. Just goes in there. That's all there is to it. Surprised that Hicktop survived. I helped my nephew get his put together and working. Every joint in that thing moved around. I think you want a 45-ish or something. Well, and I'm going the wrong way with it. It's got to go forward, right? And you probably want, yeah, I see that, because you're going to have to bend it anyway, but you probably don't want to go right in front of the fan. Let's set this on 45-degree angles. Whew, I am going to lose that grub screw one way or another, aren't I? I have been following your older videos on converting a MakerBot replicator over to Clipper. Even a smart extruder though. I'll post a pic. Okay. We're just really just kind of test fitting right now. So if that goes in there, will this bend over? Yeah, that'll... I can get to it over here. I can get to it here, so let's just loosen that and let it shift where it needs to. See if there's any angle. Yeah, that would probably be just bend it. It only probably needs to bend it like a little bit. You leave the wire going out, hot end wire on the outside. Oh, you wanted to go out this way? Why not just go straight up through all this? You see the set screw, don't eat it. You're saying send it this way? That's what I do anyway. Okay. Let's try something. I got an idea. If we have enough wire. Let's go just kind of barely off to the side to where this goes back in here, but it still goes in like that. And this would go Let's loosen this a little bit. Go something like that. Is that what you're trying to refer to? Something like that. And then that kind of bends just straight like that. I think that would be fine. See you, Biney. Hello, Steve. Do you know any video which explain how exactly to read the graph generated by input shaping? Go to my Discord channel. Go to the self-promotion, and Ref just posted a video. It's, when I started to watch it, it's fairly lengthy. It's about 42 minutes or something like that. I haven't watched it all the way through, but Ref has been very helpful on the channel, especially in the Switchwire stream, and interpreting and making adjustments for input shaping. So I expect to learn something when I finally can get the time to watch that. But go to, link is in the description to my Discord. Go to the self-promotion channel, and it was just posted today, I think. So that's good timing. Okay, so that goes there. This is going to end up there. Everything looks like it's going to clear. Yep. This uses sensorless homing, right? I didn't see any mention of micro switches. Yeah, that's not bad. I can get behind that. And it's a nice 45-degree angle. So. Okay. That's going to go on there. And then we start getting into the lower part. I'm going to have to reprint this. So I think we're going to wind down. Let's just go through and kind of, if Delmar or Rolohaun can give me any things, maybe in chat, something I should check before next stream that might pertain to the Z-axis, things I should be prepared for, it would be helpful. Yeah, there's no room for switches, you're right. Things I should be prepared for that might be helpful. We've got a Z-stepper that goes in there. The belt goes up and through. The mount sent you should raise the hot end higher into the rookery, giving you better cooling. Okay. How far is this off? It lowers it, what, you said about 1 millimeter? That'd be fine. Question off subject, but for Galileo 2 with a toolhead board, do you know a good mount for the BTT SB2209 toolhead board or the LDO Nighthawk? It's all built in. You just mount it directly into the Galileo 2 files. You don't have to worry about it. There's no adapter plate. So, zip ties, all the zip ties. So is there a path along the back of this for like wiring, or? I'm working on the 3D model of a custom printer Core XY with decent build printer volume. Nice. Install, wrap that around. I like the graphics. I like the descriptive belt path depiction here. All right. Yep. You know what might have been just kind of a design idea here? I'm looking at this printed part, and we're looking at some pieces here. What about a 2 screws through the back, all the way back, and then you wrap around those screws? That might have been an interesting idea. I can post what I did for my wiring as a mess slash cleanish. Does that work? Can you actually say mess slash cleanish in the same little? My bed frame is upside down. Yeah. We were just testing. But 2 screws through there would have eliminated Initially I did that, I think, can't remember if it was Rook or not. Ah. Eliminate any chance of that breaking. I don't know if there's much chance, but that's just the first thing I thought of. What else do we have here? More belt path. Install the MCU. And what do we have? This did not come. Oh, I'm remembering. I was going to use Marlin on here. That's still the plan. We're going to do Marlin on here. When I initially agreed to do this build, the thought was to use it as a platform to look at the latest stuff in Marlin. We've done a lot of stuff with Clipper, and recently some rep firmware stuff, and there's more rep firmware coming, but we will be doing Marlin on this build, which adds to the thought of the other thing I thought of is I need to find, if anybody knows, and you can send me a link, I need to find a screen mount. Yes, Delmar, you're on the same page. I need to find a screen mount, and I'd like it for the Mini 12864 because I have a dozen of those here. So a mount that I can put on here that for the 12864 display. I think at the most basic, I could probably put a couple of mounts here and just use some Voron style bit that sticks off the front. So can't wait to see how easy hard that is to set up Essential List with Marlin. We'll find out. We will find out. It is something I've been wanting to do. And this is Keith says they have a Marlin config for the Rook with a SKRE3 V3.0. Absolutely. I would love to grab that. And then we can just go through and look at the different options and spend less time changing them. Because I still remember where to set stuff. But having to actually put it in will save some time. So that would be appreciated. So, senseless homing was a breeze on the Rook. Perfect. Perfect. There are 2 heat sets below for the skirt. Oh, there are. I got to reprint this anyway. I don't know if it's worth putting something here to be sturdy enough for a display. So, actually, I did know that, DJ. I did. LDO will have a Marlin option for their Rook too. Perfect. I do not have a Trident running Marlin. So that reminded me, when I was looking at this picture here and saw a pie. Oh yeah, is there a pie in here? And then, oh no, I wasn't going to do Clipper. So zip tie a display to it. It's gonna be nicer than that. There's a Z end stop. So that's what those heat sets in here are for. And there is a mount I printed. And this is for the Z end stop, it appears. And something else. What is this? I haven't looked yet, but this is the little mount here it's talking about. You could do Octoprint with Marlin. You could. Attach the bed, and then we have skirts, and that's pretty much there. And we got a bunch of wiring. Now, Delmar said that they sent, oops, I wasn't in there. Delmar said that they sent a picture of their Rook wiring. Oh, here, let me open in browser and bring this over here. So this is Keith's, and it looks like a little bit of strain relief bend there. And this is kind of what I was thinking it was gonna look like. And I might still do it like this because it really hides it. You can't see it at all from the side. So I might still do something like that. It's a spring mod that Frogfill added for the bed drop. Oh, okay. Is that in the CAD? That is there. And then does it just kind of bounce on the bed just to give it a a little cushion when it drops? What is that? What is that? Is that plastic? Is that in the Hotend? Do you have a, oh, that's a screw head. That's a screw head, isn't it? It looked like a blob of plastic. Like you might have had a little bit of a leak. I think that's a screw head. At this scale, I think that's a screw head. And Delmar is looking at here. So we've got, so that's pretty much the 45-degree angle we were talking about. It is a screw head. I thought it was a little bulging plastic at first. And then we've got, it's probably what I do. Power supply sits on here. Okay. Then this one. Like some zip tied on umbilicals. Sherpa in the back. Okay. That, and then power into place, skirts, and then the PSU. This is what I want to look at now. It's a PSU. Positron Rook. It prints upside down. Mini Sherpa extruder. This is making sure this distance is correct. Let me see a bit more. Oh, is that where the instructions end? We suggest getting all the startup checks and tuning with PSU sitting next to the printer until you are fairly certain that all is well. Then you're all set. Add the skirts and finally the PSU. The PSU mounts through the holes in the front feet. Will sit below your previously installed electronics. So it mounts between these two holes. Okay, let's look at that. I want to see that. This is all going to kind of shift around. So this is kind of important to me. So this is going to go here. And then this looks like it mounts in here. Maybe upside down. I could be upside down. I'm just looking at how this goes in. It's going to sit on top of something. I don't think so. I'm wondering maybe that way. That hole. Okay, those two might line up. That's a tight fit. Let's see. Terminal pointing up. Reason you see it off on the side in the pick. Terminal pointing up. The problem is terminal pointing up, the mounting holes don't line up. There are no mounting holes on this side for this power supply. There are no mounting holes. So then if we turn this over here, this will work. Then we do it like this, right? This I think this hole lines up maybe with that hole, but this one nowhere close to that one. If it goes this way, then I think this hole, this other hole, lines up here. This one lines up here. However, the bolt for the foot appears to maybe be in the way. Let's see if we can actually attach this. Let's just get it in there. Pokes through enough? Yeah. Oh, wrong one. Gotta go on that one. Yeah. So if I unthread this, so there, what are we saying? How the heck do you attach wires that way? I think you flip it over like this and then you bring it in like this. I'm guessing. But if that foot screw isn't, oops, sorry. If that foot screw isn't in the way, I have to deal with my back of my head here for a second because I wasn't able to do it there. Okay. If that wasn't in the way, then I think, yeah, these all line up. So that's there and there, but this screw is too long. This I think will thread, yep, and it hits the power supply right there. And it's not tightened all the way. So those are 16s. I wonder if a 12 will hit the thing. Self-source Rook uses an AC adapter. Yeah. So this is a mod, right? So to have a power supply within this tiny electronics compartment. So trying to figure out how to make that happen. I think this screw needs to be shorter. But yeah, there's no way around. I'm just looking in there to see if there's any way to get around that. So now this gets us to the point where my concern with this general idea is now we've got the power supply and this being shipped and this one being one of the more heavy components in here, leveraging on these two screws. So I need to figure out a way, maybe put a third point here to anchor the power supply from another, brace it from another angle. Or a washer between the foot and the bolt. I think you're right. I think I'm going to stack washers in here until it clears, because that's going to give me the most flexibility without changing. And I bet you I have either extra shims or washers that'll go there. Rolohaun is talking about the added weight being in the bottom of the printer is going to help it with stability, which is nice. But I think I'm going to utilize this hole here to make some sort of brace that gives at least another point, so it's not bouncing on this front skirt. Don't use too long a bolt or your power supply, you could end up with a bad day. Yes. These barely stuck through here. They stick out like less than 3 millimeters. So I think we're good there. Posted the final build of my Rook in stream chat. You saw it at Earth. Oh, here we go. Let me bring this up. Here's this. And I'm glad we're doing this little bit of extra looking, because I want to capture some things between streams. That looks good. That looks really good. I like it. I have this plate printed, by the way. I just forgot to bring it over. It's stuck down in every corner. So my VZ bot, I don't run a probe. I'm just running the bed trammed. No mesh, no probe, Z end stop is all. And it printed pretty darn well. But anyway, that looks good. I like it. You copied me on your color scheme, but Steve ABS plate. If I do, a bottom plate would be good, but that bolting here isn't going to be great. There's no real easy way to get a fastener here. What I think is something coming from the frame here, just straight up, and then a screw in here is probably what I'm gonna do. Or maybe that, and then a screw going through the bottom plate into that, because a head on here will keep me from being able to put a bottom plate on here well. But I could secure the plate on those couple of areas. See, Uncle Paul? Standoff. Yeah, I'll just basically make a standoff. There's nothing directly below that hole that I can just straight up standoff, but we'll find something. That won't be too bad. And I just realized I can. There, now we can get a better look at this. So if you look up in there, there's clearance on this side, and focus isn't going to be happy. But over here, it's too far over. And then you couldn't shift it enough to work with that. So wife and I are going for a walk. It's nice out today. See you, Kyle. We're winding down here anyway. Yeah, interesting. If there are skirts, is there any way to make standoff in the skirt? The skirts for these are pretty slim. Pretty slim. So I think the plate on the bottom here, and I think honestly a printed plate is probably going to be fine. It's just going to go up to these and not all the way in. And that's assuming I have enough room over here and stuff. You can do one of the Pi Zero mounts. That's just, oh, that's over here. There's nothing to attach to here though. I want to positively bolt to something on here. Okay, that gives me a lot to think about, a lot to prep. So I am going to reprint a couple of things between streams and swap over some of the stuff that we've talked about so I don't have to redo it. I don't know what I'm gonna do about this. That is at least nice and thick, but I still don't trust it to be shipped that way. I think that one little, if I can have a nice sturdy brace right there, that'll be enough. And I guess a 30mm fan does fit here below or around this power supply, or just go on this side. I already can see Steve deep in the CAD playing around. I have ideas, and I think it should be relatively quick. I hope. I have to reprint this anyway, so I will probably put a mount in the side here and then just screw in here and have it go up here. And then through whatever bottom plate I do to just kind of sandwich this in place. Is I think the idea there. Excuse me. And then if I'm doing that, I'll figure out how to attach it in another couple of spots. But the bottom plate with a brace, yep. Check the wiring photo, it's tight with the ferrules. So on the back here, some wire coming in. This is our umbilical path. It's tight with the ferrules. Check the wiring photo. What do we have? Maker Mind Nexus is showing off a printer here. Oops. That looks good. That's a 2020 Rook. The first thing to modify is to add a bottom plate. Yes. Is the hole on the side threaded? No, it's not. It's a boron Phoenix. Can you salvage the heat sets from the failed print and reuse them? Yeah, I do that all the time. I pull heat sets out all the time and reuse them. Delmar was saying something about the fan wiring gets a little crowded. Okay, well, we'll figure it out. With that, we are right at 4 hours. Somehow, I messed up so much of this build today, and we still hit 4 hours somehow. So, thank you everyone. Thanks Rolohaun for being here. I hope I didn't shed any poor light on the project, because everything that I ran into today was really me. And I want people to know that. Thanks to Fabreeko. There is that coupon if anybody's interested in this and a 2020 upgrade for it. It's in the description. I don't know how long that's going to be valid. I don't know if Shammy's still around. Thanks to Polymaker for the filament giveaway, all the gifted memberships, new members. We will be back here on Tuesday. That's assuming something for work doesn't get in the way. But the intent is to get back on the Mark III to Mark IV upgrade on Tuesday. Next week, we will be back on this. The following week, we may shift gears to Milo. So the Millennium Milo has shipped. Mine, I have a tracking number for it. So I haven't started printing parts for it. So it'll be at least the following week, if not the next, depending on how long it takes to get that stuff done. So this is this Rook build, especially with the Marlin stuff that I'm now remembering and the display stuff, may give me the extra time to be prepared for that. So I don't know if Pooch will be here on Tuesday or not. We haven't chatted about it. I don't know if he's even around. So anyway, thank you everyone. Hope you have a good rest of your day. And we will hopefully see you on Tuesday, if not next Sunday. Take care everyone. Enjoy the build.